Crying, yes, crying is good for you. When last did you release some excess emotions? Today our conversation might have you dismissing the topic or even reaching for the tissues. But hold on, this conversation won't be a downer, as we'll be chatting about the incredible healing aspects of releasing excess emotions through our tears and the benefits of occasionally indulging in this self-care ritual. I'm the Forest Fairy. Welcome to my corner of the woods, where I'm rebuilding, revamping, redesigning a magical life and hopefully inspire you to gather your own fairy dust. Hello everyone, I hope you're having an excellent week. I feel so much lighter with the storage unit gone, but with all the letting go, I definitely shed a lot more tears than usual. I found the smallest things set me off, so I got thinking about crying, what I've noticed, and also did some research. I hope that you'll view crying a little differently after our conversation. Don't worry, this isn't going to be a wet blanket conversation, so to speak, as I'm going to share the many benefits, emotional, mental, and physical, of having a quick week. Crying has had a bad rap, both in our society and by me. It is changing, but in many societies, crying is still seen as a weakness when done by men, and crying women are considered manipulative or just plain emotional. I've even found over the past few years that fewer and fewer people actually cry at funerals. They just sit and bottle it up. Now, I know this differs from culture to culture, but it would have been very healing if I could have really wailed and torn my clothes on occasion just to release that extreme and excess of emotions and stress. The rap by me is firstly because I just look terrible when I cry. Not a sexy, sultry look. My eyes and lips swell up immediately and stay red and puffy for hours. And secondly, I hated that I did it so easily and would immediately draw curious and sometimes disapproving looks. But I realize I don't just cry when I'm sad or grieving. I also cry when I'm angry, frustrated, anxious, stressed, overwhelmed, and even when I'm happy. Crying must therefore be part of a universal language of emotions and an innate human response to getting rid of an excess of these feelings. An essential emotional release mechanism, or valve, if you will. But when we cry, it's not just an emotional release, but also a release for our bodies from the buildup of tension and stress hormones, say the experts. Their research suggests that tears contain higher levels of a certain stress hormones, which means shedding tears can physically help you alleviate stress. I found that a little or even a big cry makes me feel better. It's a wonderful release of tension, and I feel more present, calmer, and I can think clearer. And this is apparently caused by the release of endorphins, those wonderful natural mood lifters, your body's own little mood enhancing therapy session. In fact, crying is healing and very important. People who don't release emotions through crying may find they get a runny nose, hay fever, sinusitis, something that forces some waterworks. And then there's also the perspective that if you don't release emotions and bottle them up, they go and sit somewhere else in your body and become a physical discomfort or a disease. I haven't shared any of the beautiful places in the Overberg in a while now, but today was such an incredible day that I had to pop this in. It was cold, but with bright sunshine and windless. The perfect day to catch up with a few friends over brunch. Lots of laughter, planning, inspiring, and ragging of each other. The venue was a local restaurant, the Zesty Lemon, which is situated on the Sir Robert Stanford estate. The original owner was an Irishman who retired from the army and bought this piece of ground in the 1830s. The part of the farm open to the public is lush and green and surrounded by vineyards. Winter in this part of the world is a play of greens and blues, with bare trees adding texture and unusual shapes to the landscape. My favorite part of winter here is that many of the local flora is flowering. From the majestic strelitzia, or as it's commonly known, bird of paradise or crane flower, to the many aloes. I'll share more of them in the coming months. But we could ask, what is the water running out of our eyes? There are three types of tears. The reflex tears that we shed when we clear stuff from our eyes, like dust, smoke, or when cutting an onion. And the normal tears that happen continuously to lubricate our eyes and to help protect them from viruses and bacteria. And then, of course, there's the emotional tears. So our ordinary continuous tears consist of 98% water and a 2% mixture of oils, salts, and 1,500 proteins. It's this 2% that make our tears and all our other bodily fluids salty, as the electrolytes in these fluids contain sodium, potassium, and chloride. Our bodies use electrolytes to create electricity that helps power our brains and move our muscles. However, our emotional tears seem to contain stress hormones and other toxins, and although they're still working on it, the researchers have theorized that crying helps flush these things from our system. I've learned that a bout of crying is sometimes an opportunity for introspection and self-awareness. I now gently examine why I'm crying and to which emotion or situation I can link it. For example, maybe I'm crying because I'm overwhelmed and I need to release some tension. And you know, when you cry in front of someone or with someone, it seems to strengthen the relationship as it shows vulnerability and authenticity, and I think could lead to increased empathy and understanding from those around you. So now I'm okay to cry, and I see it as a self-care healing ritual. I've even heard it referred to as a self-soothing practice. Therefore, I don't fight it anymore, and when I feel tears pushing up, I recognize that particular emotion that has become too much for me, and I just let the tears flow. You can even take it further by journaling about the emotions, practicing deep breathing, or even just sitting and indulging in a cup of tea or coffee. So the next time you feel a little weepy, don't force it away or judge yourself for not being stronger, more in control. Just let the tears flow and embrace their powerful healing. Wishing you a wonderful week ahead and sprinklings of fairy dust as we continue redesigning a magical life. Until next time, goodbye.